almost forgot myself. Hello, 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 and welcome to Dear Dana. How are you doing tonight? I hope you are doing well. Hello, Renee Rod. Hello, Chase Ryder. Hello, Shelly Marie, my lovely mod. Hello, Rose Marie. Hello, Gourmet Thursday. Who else is in the chat right now? Hello, C. Cruz. Hello, all you beautiful butterflies. Hello, Paranormal Witch. Willow, have missed you. I hope you are healing well. Hello, Francesca D. How are you doing? I'm so happy to see all of your beautiful faces. And hello in the bushes. Yes, I see you in the bushes. Love the Christmas tree. Yes, I do. Want to share a little bit of a beat with you. Let's see if I can share it. I don't really need to share the screen. I wonder if you can hear the audio if I don't share. I don't need to share the screen. I just want to share the audio. Let me see if you can hear this. Let me know. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Okay, anyway, I'm going to start trying to add some music. I'm trying to kick up the channel a bit. Yeah. Sheila's one's trying to get me on Twitch. I'm trying to figure all of that out too. Hello, John Brownell. Brownell? I hope I didn't chop up your name. And I'm glad our other mod, Paranormal Witch, is here too. That used to be the opening music to my show that I had on iHeartRadio. It was just my voice. People didn't see me. They just heard me on my radio show. But it was the opening music to my show on iHeartRadio. It was much safer for me. People didn't see me. Oh, thanks. I felt much more comfortable doing my radio show because people didn't see me. They just heard me. But I'm planning to have more interviews. I'm trying to gear up during the holidays to, cut it up a notch. Cut it up a notch in here. Yeah. But I'm so happy to see everybody. I'm happy to see new faces in here. I don't think I've ever met you, John Brunell, unless you've been in the bushes, unless I missed something. But I'm very pleased to see you here. Happy to see everybody here for that matter. Yes, welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we are going to talk about what's love got to do with it. Sorry for my singing. But it's an important topic. Let me tell you why. I watch my daughter and her friends. I think about it myself. From very warm Tampa, Florida. I wish I was there. I'm in the ATL. It's chilly and rainy here today. Can you tell by my hair? I'm in Kinkville today. Well, it's kinky every day, but it's worse today. But it's been raining here in the aftermath. Yes, please. By the way, before I start, let's if you're praying people, let's put our prayers out to Illinois, Missouri, Kentucky, Arkansas, Tennessee. They were hit really hard by tornadoes. Some people have lost their lives. So let's put the prayers out there for them. Some people have lost homes and lives. Ooh, 88. I am living in the wrong place for sure. I love the ocean. I might have to live that way one day. I love me some ocean. Um, would like to be close to the ocean one day. But yes, let's put some prayers out that way. There has been a lot of destruction. We are probably catching the tail end of the aftermath. That is what usually happens with Georgia. We catch the aftermath of tornadoes and such. Gourmet is in Chicago. Thank God there's no tornadoes there. Yeah. Chicago, you probably get hit with a lot of snow, right? Florida usually keeps the nice weather, typically. Georgia, we have the wacko weather. We have the very Georgia Georgia has multiple personality problems. Hello, Marie Crum. But we were going to talk about what's love got to do with it. That's been on my mind. I watch my daughter and her friends and their love situations, and I look at the stuff on the reality TV sometimes, and kind of what's going on around the world, and the Kardashians. I don't watch that show, but you see enough of it on YouTube and TV and how they report on it all the time. I hear enough about it without watching the show, without watching it. You get inundated with it. Hello, Nikki. How are you? So before I go further, let me hit my intro. Oh, bad. Yeah. It's been horrific. Let me throw the intro down and we will start with the conversation. Here we go. Okay, that was short and sweet. And yes, your vibe does attract your tribe. It does. I've been drilling that in people's head. Whatever energy you put out, the energy you put out, you know what I'm saying? You tend to attract that same kind of people to you. You do. You tend to attract that same kind of people to you. And the more you resonate higher, lift your energy up. And for the newbies out there, you know what I'm talking about. When you feel low, you know that feeling when you feel low, down in the dumps? It's a thing. It's like turning the radio station down. Your energy legit goes down. Your physical energy that you emit from your body goes down. And you've seen people that are like drags that have no personality. They're low energy. They either A, won't have friends, or their friends will be the same way. Hello, Diana. If people are real hype, high energy, have a lot of personality, you see people drive toward them like flies, right? Like butterflies. Hey. Oh, thank you, Gourmet Thursday. What part tickles you? The first or the second? But people with real hype, high energy, happy energy, people are driven to them. John Brownwell said, Let's see. I'll pull it up so I can see better because I'm blind. Dana, you were a guest on Up and Adam, right? Yes. I used to go on Up and Adam quite frequently for quite a while. And he changed formats and not so much now. Well, I got my own show too. Yes, I was, quite often. You are correct. It's hard to deny the southern accent, right? Hard to deny it. I don't think most people have the twang that I do. You can be in the South and hear various different Southern accents, but I have been accused of having the Nancy, what's her name? You know that attorney, Nancy. I can't remember her last name. Oh, thank you, John. That I sound like Nancy Grace, and then some people say I sound like Holly Hunter, that actress with a Southern accent, Holly Hunter. Yeah, Nancy Grace. And I don't know how many people know Holly Hunter, but yeah, I've been accused of that quite often too. I think I just sound like Dana. But there are various different, you can go anywhere in the South, and the Southern accent sounds uh, quite different depending on your locale. That is a curious thing. Different depending on your locale. But anywho, back to the well, what was I even talking about? Zoop. There went my brain. Squirrel. I just had a squirrel go in my eyesight. But when we talk about, oh, you're healing slow, it's frustrating the recovery. I'm happy to be back. Oh, honey, Willow, I was hoping it would heal quicker. Typically, they do heal quicker. I'm hoping that you are moving more. The healing will be better. But anyway, when we talk about love, people have various sundry ideas of what love should be about. It could be about, oh yeah, your daughter's friends and everything going around. A lot of us grew up getting the fairy tale version of love. You know what I mean? I read all those fairy tales, or they were read to me, and maybe yeah, I know I'm weird. But when I would see the fairy tales, my thoughts on it was not so much that a prince was going to come rescue you, but that the princesses would go through difficult times, get over the humps, that they would become stronger, find ways to get around the problems, and become victorious, that they were strong, right? And ultimately, the dumb ass prince that didn't recognize them in the first place finally figured it out, and she got the prince, right? But, you know, winning the hand of the prince and getting all the money and getting the, you know, the throne, or getting to be with the prince and having the kingdom, etc., we know that's not reality. And you know, I may write a book. There needs to be new books written. John says, I love Southern accents. Most of us in the Florida Peninsula don't have identifiable accents. I can get that. Those in the Florida Panhandle have very strong Southern accents. I would get that probably a lot of people in Florida, and especially the Peninsula, probably are transplants. Snowbirds that move because they want to get out of the cold weather. They probably want to get out of the cold weather. Gourmet Thursday says, yeah, like Meghan Markle. And Paranormal Witch says, love is a manifestation of what you want it to be. That's a good idea. I mean, that's a nice thought. Renee Warrod says, I love you because I need you, or I need you because I love you. I love you because I need you, or I need you because I love you. I need you because I love you. Hello, Marcy. I love you because I need you, because I need you and I don't want you to get away. I need you because I love you. I can see both of those questions. But also, people, mm, once upon a time, back in the 50s, it was rare that you ever heard about anyone getting divorced. I know that my grandparents, my dad's mom got divorced, but it was before I was even born. My other grandparents never got divorced, but it would be an embarrassment. It would be talked about, gossiped about. People married to stay married. Now, cheating, on the other hand, I can see how there was probably a lot of cheating and it was kept on the low down, and wives stayed with him anyway and didn't say anything. And maybe vice versa. But so many people have the idea, I think, in my opinion, and mind you, psychotherapist here, I need to be in love with you. I need to be in love with you. But here's the catch. In love comes when you are fascinated with a person. In the beginning, when you are just wholeheartedly, you have the chemical response, you have the passion, the lust. And it usually lasts 6 months, maybe more, sometimes less. In love is not something that goes for a lifetime. In love, people use that word, I'm not in love with you anymore. In love is a beginning thing. It fizzles out quickly. In love happens more, when you're young, in your teenage years. It can happen when you're older. But in love is that chemical, physical beginning thing. It's an attraction thing. It's a something you can't help often thing. But the lasting thing is what you work on. In love is more a selfish thing. Are they feeling something within you, making you happy, making you after them, right? It's possessionary. It's possessionary. And it also can turn into ownership. I knocked myself out of the studio. I just knocked myself right out of the studio. When it turns to a mature love, it's about partnership. It's about compromise. Look, I was telling my daughter yesterday that a relationship is actual work. If you value a relationship, it's actual work. It's about, it's altruistic almost. Yeah, look, that's not love, baby. Gourmet Thursday said, my husband thought he owned me. That is not love. That is not love. Oh, thank you, Marie Crumb. I love y'all too, genuinely, wholeheartedly. I don't love the trolls. I do not love the trolls, by the way. I have love for all people. Let me take it back. I have love for them as a human being. I don't love their behavior. But you all know if you genuinely have love for a person, it's that you want to do for them, make sure they're okay. It's altruistic. You love them as you would yourself, right? This can be like a partner, a lover, a companion, a friend. It can extend in many directions, right? We are giving our children even the wrong idea about love sometimes. Maybe not all of us. Ooh, baby, the message is going. Exactly. Let me throw that up. We need to redefine love. Exactly. And too many relationships are one sided and it takes two to make it work. Amen, brother. Amen. Amen to that. It takes two to make it work. My eyes itchy. And I was trying to tell my daughter today, I said, when things are going on and you need to discuss things with people, check yourself first and then check them. Check yourself first and then check them. If it's a relationship or friendship or whatever, I'm not always perfect at it, mind you, but I try to step back. It could be my mom, my husband, or whoever. I try to check myself first in a communication or relationship with somebody. When there's a situation or disagreement, I check myself first to look at my responsibility in the relationship or whatever's going on. And then I go to them with how things need to be handled or what my part is, what their part is, to try for better communication. Amen, I'm not perfect. Sometimes I might react. I try not to. I try to step back, but sometimes I might react and then step back and check myself, reevaluate, and go back. But I will always ultimately check myself. That is a relationship. That is love. That is working on a relationship. This, I'm not in love with you anymore, is BS. So, how do you look at love? That's what I want to know. I'll drop the link. You can come up if you want to. You can write it in chat. But I want to know how you look at love. You know, I look at the history of things now. And, my mom was talking about when kids date, she'd like to see her grandkids, her granddaughters connect or marry people that have both a mom and dad that are married for a lifetime, a steady relationship, etc. And I was like, good luck with that. Good luck with that, mom, because there are probably more people. If you want to get into the percentage of things, there's probably more people that have been divorced or they have partners and are not married than there are people that are married and have been stably married continually without divorce, etc. Would you agree or not agree? I mean, if you look at percentages of things, not just in America, worldwide. I was looking at something on the news, probably on the news on YouTube, and it was saying that Japan is slowly shrinking, and they don't mean in land. Margie says she agrees. They didn't mean in land. What they mean is in population, because most of the population are the very elderly. The very elderly. John Brownwell says, I think couples counseling is very important, even healthy relationships. Relationships take a lot of work. Amen, amen, amen. But if you talk to really young people, really young, I'm talking teenagers, 20s, even 30, which I wouldn't say is really young, but not really young, I don't know that they would agree with that. I don't know that they would agree. Look, I would recommend anybody that's going to get married have premarital counseling. Premarital counseling. C. Cruz says, right, the younger generation do not want marriage or babies. Some might. Some want babies without marriage. You know, I say live your life like you want to live your life. Live your life like you want to live your life. Paranormal Witch says Japanese has more male than female. It's hard for them to find love. That's why they look into having relationships with foreigners. That's only partially right. What's happening? I mean, I've seen some of that to be right, but what's also happening is most of their population is very elderly. Most of it is. There are unexpectedly a lot of the female and male youth in Japan are having trouble finding well paying jobs. They're not paying as much as they would like. And there are young people up into their 30s that are still virgins there. That is the truth. And they're not marrying there and reproducing like they were. So the new birth rate in Japan is very low in comparison to the elderly rate. And at this rate, by the time they hit, let's see, we're at 2021, I think they estimated by 2050, 2060, their population was going to go lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. Hello, Creative AF Divine Flow Video. Marzi also says it's also happening in Sweden and Germany. Wow. Gourmet Thursday says the problem with premarital counseling is young couples tend not to know what they need to know or are fully developed. Yep, that's true too. The brain does not fully develop emotionally. So glad you're popping in. Thank you so much, Creative AF Divine Flow Video. You all remember Sheba. I hope you all are checking in with her. Hello, Shoeless One. Good morning to you. But yeah, the young brain's not fully developed until the early 20s, especially emotionally. But Halo Chase Ryder, he's hanging in the bushes. But the thing is, and sometimes they don't know what questions to ask because they have been inundated with you're supposed to be in love. But they don't realize you're supposed to also ask the important questions like, how do you feel about religion? What are your thoughts about children? What about money? What about goal setting? What do you want to do with your lives individually? Right? If the female is real goal driven, but the male is more old fashioned, how will that ultimately work out? If they spiritually have different belief systems, now, that can change over time. You really have to look at the heavy hitting things to see if they're on the same page, because you can be in love till the day's end, But if you're not on the same page about some really serious things, it's going to blow sky high. Because people think they can change the other's mind, or they can help change them, make them better. No, baby, no. Love is about allowing each person to grow into who they're ultimately meant to be, letting them be who they need to be as a soul, right? I'm going to call him Doofius because I don't want to say his name. It was bad marriage. There were some good times, but overall, it was, baby, Noah was the best thing that came out of that. And in saying that, I will say in some ways it was meant to be because of that, right? But ultimately, he would have held me back. He would have held me back. That person did not want me to grow into this person. Did not want me to grow into this person. Because that person couldn't control this person. And that was part of the problem. That person said all the right things, and I didn't listen to my gut. You know how I always tell you, listen to your gut. And for the young people that might be hearing this, if I do not ingrain this, anything else to you that you're listening to, if you go bzzz when you're hearing this, if you shut down like, Charlie Brown's teacher going, wah, 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 you don't hear anything else I say. You get in your brain, you overthink, and you have the monkey mind. Too many thoughts going on, right? And you get lost in all the hormones and the emotion and the love in your heart. So that mixes you up. When you're connecting about a person, the one place you should always listen to is your gut. That feeling in your gut, that gut instinct. Because spiritually speaking, or just physically speaking, that is the one place that will never lead you astray. It is your direct connect. You can call it the universe, the creator. I call it God. You can call it angels. Whatever. I implore you. That is your direct connect. It is your intuition. It is your everything. That is the one place that you can trust. If it is pulling you and telling you not to get connected with that person, you better listen. Because it's telling you the truth and you need to turn around. Don't listen to your head. Don't listen to your heart. Don't listen to your hormones. Turn around. Because it's going to save you a world of trouble. Regardless of everything else. Truth. How many times have you heard yourself or a bazillion other people say, I felt it. I should have listened to my gut, but I didn't. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. You've heard it so many times. So I'm telling you the truth. Listen to your gut. Gourmet Thursday. That was my experience, but we did have a nice marriage while it happened. John says, they sometimes confuse infatuation with love. I agree about pre-marriage counseling, but not by a Catholic priest. I was raised Catholic. They cannot really relate as well. You need to go to someone that you feel confident is going to tell you the truth and you feel secure with. Whomever that may be. Go get feedback online about them or talk to your friends or, just go to someone that you know and trust. Yeah, I said, it's Sheba, creative AF. Nikki says, you can still have dysfunctional marriages if you come from parents who have stayed married forever. That isn't a guarantee to success in your marriage. No, I completely 100% agree because look, my parents stayed together. My parents stayed together, but they had issues in their marriage. Just because your parents stayed together does not mean it's a key to success in the marriage you're going into. Look, if your parents had issues in their marriage they didn't address, or you grew up in a household where there were problems and you had to deal with those problems and it was never addressed, or you never dealt with it, or you stuffed it away, you just stuffed it in your shadow somewhere. Trust and believe. Trust and believe. If you did not address the trauma or the pain or whatever you dealt with, or you watched and it affected you and you stuffed it in your shadow, you are going to attract someone in your life unconsciously that you can work out those issues with. And you will keep attracting people or a person in your life that you can work out those traumas with until you do so. That's how it tends to work. I don't care if it's a partner, a friend, whomever. That's the cycle of things. And unfortunately, kids coming from trauma or dysfunction tend to attract those kind of partners. Gourmet says, my mother was a very unhappily married woman, and I swore I would never stay in a marriage if I became an unhappy woman. 20 years later, I was dying and had to get out to save my own sanity. Bless your heart, I understand that. But do you see how you kind of attracted some of that same energy? How long did your mom stay in that marriage the whole time, Gourmet? John says, I think it's interesting how children of an abusive parent will somehow subconsciously be driven towards the same abusive personality traits in a future relationship. Yes, and isn't it interesting? They do not, and that person they're attracting may come off as sweet and kind and loving, right? Sweet and kind and loving initially. But they end up, I mean, and it doesn't even have to be someone that's that kind of person. It can be other traumatic events, and they'll attract that kind of person subconsciously as well. It's just how it works. If you don't address things that you have been exposed to, you will subconsciously draw those kind of people into your life until you have worked it out. Yes, she married until my dad died, about 40 plus years. Chase says, I like the traditional relationship with someone who shares traditional values. My mother was very submissive to my father. He appreciated her femininity. Chase, was your mom happy? Was she happy being submissive to him? Do you know? I'm sorry to hear that. We've talked about it before. Yeah, I'm very sorry as well, Gourmet. Do you like someone that's submissive, Chase? Traditional values are good, but having to be submissive, she was a housewife who never worked. I get that traditional value, but do you know if being submissive, was she happy? Do you ever know if she was happy? The partners on their best behavior at first and then after marriage. Yeah, that's okay. My dad died a long time ago. Some people still do like the traditional values, and there's nothing wrong with that. If there is balance in the relationship as far as communication and respect. But sometimes I wonder if some of the people out there now look at relationships as disposable, easily disposable. That's what I see a lot of in some relationships, that they look easily disposable to me. That's good, Chase. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this isn't working out. Divorce, next. Divorce, next. I've seen a lot of that. I mean, look at the housewives, for instance. Divorce next. Hey, Miriam, we're talking about what's love got to do with it. Nikki says, I've got a broken picker. How does one fix that? Well, it's about looking at I tell people, make a list of your non-negotiables. Make a list of your non-negotiables in your life, first of all. What are the most important things that you don't want to give up? I mean, that's what I did when I met my husband. What were the most important things that I would not negotiate in a partner? Period. I wasn't going to negotiate those things. Because here's a story. Some of you may or may not have heard. Some of you have. When I was a single mother with my son, my friends put me on a dating site I didn't want to be on. So I went with it, but I wasn't, oh, I'm this and this and this and this. Hey, you want to hook up? No. It was Match.com. It was back in the beginning. And I put my, hey, Miriam, I put my, your basic information and education and all that other stuff, right? First of all, a lot of men do not like psychotherapists because they're afraid that you're going to analyze them. So that was one strike against me. And then I had a child who was in a wheelchair, two strikes against me, divorce, three strikes against me. So I just said it like it was. And I was like, this is how it is. And this is, and so, I wasn't like a package most people probably would have wanted. Hey, Shelly Marie. So I was like, I'm a divorced mom. I have a handicapped child. This is my education. I'm not that interested in dating, but maybe I'm a little open. If just kind of blunt. And oddly enough, some men were interested, and I read their profiles. And one man contacted me thinking I was a different Dana, and he went by Crazy Dane. And I was like, damn, I've had enough crazy in my life. No way. And he didn't have his picture, but he was nice and he kept, writing me little notes and stuff. And I talked to him a little bit. And come to find out, not long after that, um, I was having a rough night and I had a come to Jesus talk with God. And I was like, okay, you think I need somebody? I guess I do need somebody. So this is what I want. I want him to be educated, never been married, because, my life's been tough enough as it is. I don't want to deal with all that. I want him to be kind to my son, never had children because it'd be too rough on those kids to have to deal with a handicapped child. And I want him to have a good job and be loving and kind. And the list went on. The list went on. I mean, I was just like, I had an attitude with God that night. Let me just tell you, I was surprised. I wasn't struck down by God, but I was clear and specific. Specific, specific, specific. And at the end, and I went, oh, and by the way, I have a thing for European men. Do you think you can do that? Okay, so it was over. It was over. So, look, I was being a BI, you know what. So 4 days later, I get another note from Crazy Dane. And he was being really nice. And come to find out, he had just finished a contract for Sprint, the telecommunication company, in my hometown that I grew up in. I wasn't born there. I was born in Atlanta, but in my hometown in Rocky Mount, North Carolina that I grew up in. It's gone downhill since then. Not just there, in the neighborhood I grew up in, and he had tried to lease my childhood house and could not, and he ended up leasing my piano teacher's house. He had all of the receipts to show me, photos, everything. I was like, what? I was rude to him, kind of. Not mean, but a little rude. He gave me his phone number, and it was all this was bothering me, and I wanted him to prove it, but I felt like I needed to apologize, so I blocked my phone number, *67, and called him. When he picked up and started speaking, he had a European accent. I kid you not. For, I don't know, 30 seconds, a minute more, I couldn't say anything as he spoke. He was Danish. Now, I wasn't specific about what part of Europe. Maybe I should have been, but he was Danish. And I was in shock. So we spoke, and yeah, he's my husband. We spoke, and I agreed to meet him. I told him, I will meet you at a restaurant. I'm bringing my son. I'm not going to dress up. I'm paying for my own food, and don't think you're going to get lucky because you're not. Yep, that's what I said to him, poor man. I get to the restaurant. He's not what my typical type would be. He's not unattractive. He's just not what my typical type would be. And his face lights up, and I stroll my son in, and he is going out of his way to, it was not a good area for Noah to be in, and he goes out of his way to move everything to make sure Noah is in a better area. So we leave, and I was going to go to Walmart. And let me tell you, I was broke as a joke. I was still trying to do psychotherapy, but when I was alone with Noah out there, I was doing what I could, Not a lot of people would babysit him because he had special needs. And so I was taking care of everything. But anyway, I told him I was going to Walmart. He asked me if he could go. I said yes. We go in there. Noah has a seizure. He had never been around a kid with a seizure. He instinctively knew what to do. He took him to a dark area until it passed, and then Noah threw up. Without hesitation, the first time he's met him, he starts to clean my baby up without hesitation. And I jump in there. Of course, I'm like, oh no, I'm trying to clean my child up. But he just jumped right in there without thinking. Of course, I'm going to clean my own baby up. So get him cleaned up, go in there, and he wants to buy him an outfit. I couldn't let him. Too proud. I went ahead and bought it. And so I shook his hand. He gave me a kiss on the cheek, but I shook his hand like a dummy. He asked me, could he see me again? And I was like, yeah, you can. I said, I just think I want to be friends right now. So he comes to my house, and I had a lady that was a good friend of mine. She has since passed. She was the one I had the shared death experience with, where I'll tell that again later, but I got to go in the tunnel with her. But she was there, and I was freaking out. He brought food to my house to cook out. Spend his money. He brought food to my house to cook out, and he saw I had plenty for Noah, not a lot for myself. But I didn't buy but exactly what I needed. And I kept telling Doris, who came in my house, I think I'm going to break his heart. I think I'm going to break his heart. I'm freaking out. I was freaked out because God sent me exactly what I asked for. I knew what was happening. I was very specific. He had the bills from where I used to live in the neighborhood. He had the pictures. He had the everything. Let me tell you, not only that, those little birthmarks called stork bites? Some of you moms will know the birthmarks called stork bites. He had the exact same birthmark on the back of his neck in a stork bite that Noah had. The exact same birthmark. You can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. What are the odds? What are the odds? My husband came to this country, and mind you, he was a legal American citizen by virtue of his birth father was his birth father was in the military, and was married to his mother very briefly, and he ended up in an orphanage there, and got out of there and went to university, and went to military, and came here to find his birth father. He ended up adopting Noah, and we had Eden together. And when we lost Noah 4 years ago, you would never look. He was Noah's father. Period. Period. We went through everything together. He learned everything he possibly could. We've gone through he found his birth father. Unfortunately, his birth father shot himself during COVID. We have been through things that would decimate most couples. Literally decimate most couples. No lie. And we have prevailed everything. Like I said, I got diagnosed with MS. We still have our beautiful daughter. I've lost my dad. We've been through things that would decimate couples. My husband is a very special man. I've got all these weird gifts. That would, that alone would run off most men. That alone. He's shy. Maybe you will. Maybe you will. He's kind of shy. But when he found out I had these unusual gifts, he intuitively, it was the weirdest thing. He said he felt them. He felt some of them when he met me, and it did not run him off. Did not run him off. If you could have seen him, I'm going to have to show you pictures of him with my babies. Watching him with my babies, watching him with Noah right out of the gate. That was the kicker. Let me tell you, I told him initially I wasn't ready to tell him I loved him. I had been through a lot. Not all of it I want to mention here. I mean, like I said, I'm a smart woman. I'm not perfect at everything. I don't have the most common sense in the world. I make mistakes. I will admit them. But I am smart. And I ended up in a bad first marriage where he was very AB and hurt me. Okay? I was scared for my life. And I'm smart. And I ended up in that. So I was afraid to be in another relationship. And I wasn't ready to say those words. He took his time. He was patient with me. He took his time in some ways, but he was ready to move Noah and I out of that situation, regardless of whether I was ready to say it, regardless of whether I was ready to marry him. Yep. And now we have been married 21 years. Yep. His name is Stephen. So, anyway, going through all of the hard times together and still sticking it out, that is love. Yes, thank you, John Brownwell. I don't want pity. Yeah, yeah, because his name is Steve, like you, Sheila's one. That's why we're so close. And Shelly Marie and I are close. And Willow, I have got some good mods. I have got some of the most beautiful souls in this community that I could ever ask for. I am telling you, the people that consistently are drawn here are light workers. Beautiful, beautiful souls. My greatest hope for the kids and others that are seeking love is that the love that Nikki said she had the bad picker. The reason I tell this story is you have to be, oh, thanks, John Brownwell, but you can have more than one soulmate. It doesn't mean we never bicker or disagree, but do we ever have knockdown dragouts? No, we don't. We do not have knockdown dragouts. And Renee, your question last week, I don't know if you want it to be out there. I saw you take it off. Just ask the person to lunch or coffee and make it non threatening. If they're not asking you, ask. If the connection is friendly and it's there, you ask. It doesn't have to be threatening. My point was, when you resonate higher and you have it, whomever you choose to call it, I say God, because I don't know if John knows, I had the near death experience. I was clear, I was specific. I mean, I didn't add a bunch of rosy words, I was specific. I had a little bit of an attitude. Yeah, we communicate well. He has never called me a bad name, ever. Now, I say a cursing word here and there, but I specifically asked for what I needed, and I had my non-negotiables. And I will be, you know what, if he didn't pop into my life. And the odd thing is, he said, he swears on his life, he did the same thing. He did the same thing. And he said, and if she happens to have a handicapped child, that's okay. And he said he didn't know where that came from. And bam. Your picker gets off when you let your emotions take over, when you let your hormones take over. Write down exactly what you need. Go to the source. Go to your creator. I mean, it's almost like you have to do a chart. You have to be specific about what you need and don't deviate from it. That's where you get in trouble. I mean, it's good to have chemistry and all that stuff, but have your focus straight. If they are off of your non-negotiables, turn away, girl, turn away, boy, because those hormones will pick up somewhere else. Because that goes down. It doesn't. It doesn't help you if when the libido sags and you're no longer happy in that direction, if your non-negotiables are shot to hell, then you're not happy. You're not happy at all. Oh, okay. I made my shots. The ball is in his court. I haven't heard from him in days. I'm good, thank you. Okay, Renee, I'm sorry. Well, then you have your answer. The ball is in his court. There are many fish, for sure. And that gives you a lot of answers about his ways of thinking. Oh no, Diana, did you? I'm sorry for your loss as well. I didn't know you had a loss. Let's see what Steve says. The important thing about doing a list is that you're allowing yourself to be prepared in those areas as well. Yes. But it can't be just about the looks or the libido. Oh no, Diana, I'm so deeply sorry. That is rough. Sending you love and calling down angels. I'm so sorry. That's true. The specifics can also be your weaknesses, but you want the specifics to be what you need in your life. Look at what you need. Look at what you don't need. Sometimes it has to be balance, right? If you're good, that's a good point. If you're strong in this but weak in this, right? You might need someone that handles money better than you do. It's that kind of complementary thing. But you need someone that respects you and you respect them. And you need to know what your love language is. Gourmet Thursday says she needs her freedom. See, if I wanted to go with a bunch of friends somewhere, if I wanted to go XYZ, if I wanted to take a certain class, I could do that. I know my husband loves me and he's not jealous. Like, for instance, I can have a whole conversation with Sheila's one. Will my husband be jealous and freak out? No, he won't. Because he trusts me. I need that in my life. Because I communicate with people. I don't need someone hawking me. My first husband wanted me for a whole different reason. I was younger and he was with, doing stuff with all those bands and thought I could be his arm piece and arm candy and all that weird stuff. No. I'm a nerdy brainiac. You are so loved, Diana. I wish we were closer so we could do something for you. But it is about, and if we have young people around us, it's our responsibility to try to guide them if we can. It's our responsibility to try to help them learn that there's more to love. It is special. It is work. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, trust equals freedom and happiness. We want people to flourish and grow. Part of being a soul and being happy is growth. If you feel like you have to control and squash somebody, that's not love. That's ownership. That is a recipe for a divorce or for them to cheat or for them to leave you. Chase Reiner, the other day, this sex person was flirting with me, and I started flirting back, and it was very intense. In another minute, I would have sucked their face off. I looked at the hand, and there it was, a ring. A sex person? I'm confused. Was this a line? The sex person was flirting with me, and I started flirting back, and it was very intense. Okay. It sounds like it was in person. Could have been online. I'm confused. And there was a ring. Some people don't care if there's a ring. Oh, the sexy person. Gotcha. I didn't know if it was a call girl. If you were on a, if you were on a, you know what I mean. You pay for it. You go. I didn't know. So where did you see this person? Online or in person? You would have sucked their face off in public? I like sex person, Gourmet Thursday said. Sex person. Sounds like a sex doll. Oh, people are so sweet in here. sweet, 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 lovely people. That is so funny, Chase Ryder, and your name alone. Just saying. In person, they work at the office. Ugh! Okay, they work at the office. They were flirting with you. You would suck their face off. Where would you be? In the printer office? In the. It sounds like a bad porno, Chase Ryder. Dana, did your laundry list include a Danish pastry? And then God sent you real life Danish. You know, that's a thought. That's a thought, John. I do have a tangent for French toast, and I do like a good Danish pastry. Renee Rod, Chase Ryder, please tell us some more. I note, Lord, Chase, you're making me see this whole bad scenario in my head at the office. It sounds like he went to the I don't even want to say. I'm seeing desk, I'm seeing supply closet. OMG. At the time, I was flattered that this person noticed me until I seen their ring. I felt they were a pig. Oh my God. Chase. Now. You can't say that. Maybe they were flattered that you were interested in them too. You don't know what kind of marriage she's got. Maybe her husband's a mean ogre. You can't call her a pig just because she had a ring on. As my daughter walks through. And here's part of this scenario. If my husband were to come through, like, this is my husband, okay? I can be watching a video on YouTube and I can get 3/4 and 5/4 through it. And he'll hear the last part and he'll go, "What did they just say? What happened? What happened on this video? What did they say?" And wants me to explain the whole video. Or it could be a movie. Rosemary will be reading home. Oh no, in the tornado, I'm so sorry. No, I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to be involved in a married person either. So, Diane, oh no. I am so sorry to everyone. Okay, let me ask you in the chat, what is your definition of love? Friend, partner, anyone. What is your definition of love? What do you think love should be as opposed to being in love? Do you think in love can be sustained for the duration of a relationship? Yeah, Gourmet Thursday's right. You don't have to be involved with a married person, but you can be friends. You don't have to call them a pig. Does John Brownwell goes, does anyone ever look for tan lines except for on the ring finger? Well, I'm so white, I don't think for anyone would look for tan lines on me. Renee Rod said, as long as the sex is good. Gourmet Thursday. Okay, let me ask you this. John Brown, all the pigs. What if, okay, see, this is another thing. You can be married to someone for a long time, right? Margie says, I think love is trust, respect, and work. Yes, love is work. And see, it's intimacy too. And you might be married to somebody into very old age, right? And at some point, this is what people don't think about as well. At some point, sex may not be the way it was once upon a time. You know, hubba, hubba, hubba. But you're still going to have to work on the love, right? Some couples leave merely because of sex. But at some point, people are going to get really old. And the love is going to have to be expressed. People have different love languages. You have to show love in different ways. I told my daughter today, I said, look, for every negative interaction in a relationship, there needs to be 4 positive interactions. It's the truth. It needs to be that kind of balance. If you have a negative interaction with someone, there needs to be 4 positive ones in a healthy relationship. I don't care if it's a touch on the hand or bringing someone a cup of coffee. Small, tiny things mean a lot. I could fall asleep on the couch. And if my husband saw me fall asleep on the couch, next thing he would do is go get a blanket and put it on top of me. That is an action of love. Shelley says respect, friendship, honesty, and mutual trust. Yes, that is another thing that comes into play. Where there is love with someone, friendship really, really, really needs to come into hand. You need to be able to be friends with your partner. Don't you agree? I would want to be their friend, but we already made sex eyes in the office before I know. I'm snorking. Sorry. Chase! What's a sex eye? My parents had absolutely nothing in common, yet they were married for 52 years. How would you explain being married for 52 years, John? What do you think was their connection? They had to have some kind of connection. Oh my God, my ex husband had us read the 5 love languages in the beginning of our marriage, and he weaponized it. How did he do that, Gourmet? That's interesting. I hated that book for most of our marriage. Sex of any kind has to be there. Sex of any kind has to be there. I'm ordered to la. I'm ordered to la. Are you going to order it? You mean? And you need to be able to communicate with each other. Yes. I'm ordered to last. In order to last. But what if you're, Renee, what if you're like 90? Does sex still have to be there? What if you're 90? Gourmet says his love language was physical touch and he wanted to be touched 98% of each day. Whoa. Even in restaurants. He'd want me to massage his back in public or his love tank. Oh my good gosh. That is a little much. Touching hands, yes. Love that. My mom came out of a horrible first marriage. My dad rescued her. They got married, and 9 months and 8 days later, I was born. Woo! You were the magnificent coming of age baby. They may have had more in common than you think. I would think my parents didn't either, but they stayed together about that long before my dad died. So much love to you, Diana. Now, Gourmet says, I got to the point where I was scared to touch him or he'd be like a panting dog. I just couldn't. He started to creep me out. I cannot blame you, Gourmet Thursday. It sounds like he has a different kind of obsession. John Brownwell says, am I horrible for counting days? Counting what days? I'm a confused. They got married 9 months and 8 days later. I was born. No, you're not horrible. Yeah, I did the same. I mean, I was like their newlywed baby. I almost said, "Are you the reason? Are you the reason you and am I the reason you and Dad had to get married?" Yeah, that is extreme, Gourmet Thursday. Extreme, extreme, extreme. That's why we have to look at ourselves and go, why am I doing this? Why am I marrying this person? Do they meet my non negotiables? What are their non negotiables? That would be a good question to ask Sam. You almost have to look at it like a love thing and a business contract when you get in a relationship. Doesn't mean you have to marry him, right? But if you're with them when you make different decisions and stuff, are you both able to grow in this relationship? Lift each other up, support each other. Are your souls able to grow? That's where the love grows. Are you able to expand and grow and support each other in the things you do? That's where the love will grow. Because if you're being squashed in any way, that's where the bitterness will come. Don't you agree? If they're loving and supporting and protecting you, and you can count on them in a soft place to land, that's where it grows. And they're not jealous, and you're not jealous, and you can trust. Those are a lot of the non negotiables I'm talking about. We have to look at it like that. We have to show our children what things can be like and how they need to look at their relationships and not just fall into, oh, they're so cute. I have chemistry. I want to get down. Hallmark movies are great. The old books that we used to read, they're great. But we sort of need to reassess. Wouldn't it be great if things were reassessed where there was a better narrative of what love really is? And people could never use the phrase, I'm not in love with you anymore. Because the in love part only has to do with the beginning. It only has to do with beginning, with the immature part of the hormonal part of. Love has nothing to do with, well, it does, But true love has everything to do with the work, the meat of it, the giving of ourselves. Would you walk through fire for the person? And would they walk through fire for you? It's the give and take. It's like playing tennis, right? Would you do that for each other? And if it is not back and forth, if it's not an equally shared feeling, then it's not love. It has to be balanced. I wouldn't count it as love if it's not shared, if it's not equal, if the foundation's not strong. Makes me want to write new children's books. So they have a new idea. So it's not so disposable. So our pickers are better. I had a better picker this time, but I had more help. And so when I keep, preaching to everybody, they're so loud in there. Resonate higher. Clear your system out. Shield yourself. Clean your energy. Go ground yourself. Do things. Play music. Dance in your living room. Get your energy higher. Whatever you have to do, even when you're feeling like crap, try to get it a little higher. Because it brings into your life what you need. It's not a juju thing, it's a scientific, explained thing. And I share some of my stories because, I find them unbelievable too. What did John say? What did I miss? Shelley said, yes, those are my non-negotiables. Let me see. Did I miss? What did I miss? Well, I was yammering. Let me pull it up. My stepdad always used to say, you get less time for murder. My mom and stepdad are still together 27 years. After all the arguments, we all work our stuff as a family. Perfect. Yes, I love that. It's good to try to work stuff out. It's good to lay it out on the table and talk about it. Too many people don't. John Brown says, I think I was a honeymoon baby. I was originated in Gatlinburg. Oh, that's a beautiful place. I haven't been there in a long time. I went to it. Don't they have the Gatlinburg aquarium? I went there too. I love that place. Shelley says, yes. What did I hit? I clicked something. Yes, those are my non-negotiables. If I don't get that, then I'm perfectly happy with just me. What did I miss, Shelley? What were your non-negotiables, Shelley? What did I miss? I'm scrolling, trying to keep it rolling. I can't find them. Yes, loving yourself is quite the journey. And that is important. Love yourself first. Love yourself enough to stand strong. Did I read them? Okay, good. To stand strong in your non negotiables and don't deviate from them. I haven't been to Dollywood, John. I want to go so bad. And I didn't know there was a Titanic museum there. I'm not that far from there. I want to go really bad. We talk about it at least once a week about going to Dollywood. How can we renegotiate in our minds what love is? That's how you get your picker fixed. You have to get your non negotiables straight. You have to treat it almost as a business deal, but make sure your non negotiables are clear. Make sure they're clear. If you do experience lots of trauma and you stuck it in your shadow, you have to take that out of your shadow and you have to look at all of that stuff. And you remember when I did last week, wise or wounded? You have to look at those wounds and you have to walk through that and get wiser from them so that you don't re experience it in another relationship ever again. And that way you are able to begin healing and growing and moving in other directions. That's how your soul grows. That's how your pickers get fixed. We repeat things because, and we keep seeing, a friend of mine has said, I keep getting different looking guys, but they act the same. I keep getting the same problems. That's because she's not dealing with something in her shadow. She's not dealing with an old trauma. So subconsciously, she's attracting the same guy in a different body. That's how that works. That's why your picker gets broken. Rosemary T, that's so true. When you go through lots of trauma, difficulties, and experience, yeah. Gourmet says, I want to go to Aspen Food and Wine Festival next year, so I booked a hotel. Now I got to get the tickets, but I'm going to make it happen. You go, girl. The more aware we become of ourselves and kind of open up crap and throw it away, you just grow beyond grow. You're only as sick as your secrets. You're only as sick as your secrets. You know how it makes you feel yucky inside when stuff pops up in memories? That's why I say, we got to deal with the crap and get rid of it and give ourselves grace. I'm so tempted, and I think I'm going to need to. Yes, I need to go to Dollywood. I'm not that far. Oh, I want to take my daughter and my husband. Um, I just feel like I need to create some kind of class to help some people just overcome some of that stuff, overcome it and move on, get some growth and feel empowered. I'm just not sure what to call it or if people would want to come. But I would love for some people to remove the blocks. See, Shelley, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I almost think I need to do a class to help people overcome attracting that kind of problem. Like attracting the same people that seem different, same personalities, because it's an unconscious block in you in some way that you just need to get rid of. Been there, done that. I have been there, done that. Be careful what you ask for. Someone shared some secrets with me, and it was like I released a sea of cockroaches. Yikes. But sometimes you don't necessarily have to tell another person the secret. Sometimes it's about you removing it from yourself, taking it out of your body, out of your own subconscious, whether you're writing it in a journal or exposing it to yourself and dealing with it. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just about that. Just taking it out of your body, out of your subconscious, because technically you're just stuffing it inside of you. Anywho, I would like to start a new narrative. start a new narrative for ourselves, for young people, so they have a better, healthier idea of what love really is. It is that feeling. We can't grab it, but we can show it to people. Love is an action word ultimately. It's an action word. We feel it, and we can feel it from other people in energy. Yeah. Yeah, you end up comfortable with what you know. We can feel it through energy, but it's an action word. It's in how we connect and uplift and treat and respect and communicate and support, etc. other people. Yes, it's a verb. You are absolutely right. Life experience is the best form of therapy. But we have instilled the wrong idea. The wrong idea. Aw, night night, Shoeless One. Love you. Have a good Sunday. I know you are so busy. Love you, my friend. Take care. Rest well, Diana. But anyway, I guess on that note, let's see what time it is. 10:14. I shall begin to wrap up and let all of you go. I hope that you got something out of tonight. I will wait till Wednesday to do angel messages. But let's think about that. If you have any questions that you want of me personally, you can send me a note. I haven't even said, please like, share, and subscribe. If you're in the bushes, please subscribe to my channel. It greatly helps us grow. People get stuck and don't have the tools to figure things out. True, but I'm here. I can help you get the tools. I may even do a class if people are interested enough. I will do it for you. But I need the feedback from people. I didn't. Here, I will send it to you again. I'm sorry if I didn't. Maybe I get tons of emails. I will give it to you again, Gourmet. Please, I'm sorry. I must have. I don't know what happened that I didn't see it. Send it. Oh, let me get. Where's my glasses? Let me send it to this one. I don't know if you sent it to this one or not. Oh, Dana. Or you could even send me a note on was it my face was an email? dcstenson5@gmail.com. Send it there, or you can send me a note on Instagram. Dear Dana's Free is my IG on Instagram. You can message me there. It's Instagram. I need to update my channel. I'm so sorry, Gourmet. I swear if I'd seen it, I'd message you back. I apologize. So please like, share, subscribe. You can comment down below, or you can send me an email. If you would like to buy me a coffee, you can do so at miracles3@charter.net. That is my PayPal if you would like to send me a copy. I will definitely look for it. I will definitely look for it. I am so sorry. I get a bazillion regular emails from universities too. I will look for it. I'm sorry. I love you all. I appreciate you all so very much. Have a beautiful night, and I will see you on Wednesday. Again, please put any comments you have below. Send me an email if you have it. If you'd like to buy me a coffee, you can do so at miracles3@charter.net. And if you'd like to send me an email, do so at dcstinson5@gmail. What did I put? You can tell I'm starting to wear down. At Gmail, it's a MS kind of like dcstinson5@gmail.com. Ooh, Dana. And if you would like, Marcy, thank you, thank you, thank you. And Marcy and everyone have a beautiful night. If you would like to have a class on anything, on relationships, what have you, let me know and I will organize it. Or let Shelly Marie know. But let me know and we will organize it via Zoom. If you have enough interest in it, we will do so. And it will just be like something small, like a little love donation, nothing high. But anyway, have a beautiful night. Remember that your vibe attracts your tribe, and I will see you on Wednesday. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye, everybody. And here we go. Bum, bum, bum.